Well, like every time you go to the clinic, they always tell you you have options.
How'd you feel?
No.
I don't know. Like it was this nurse. I don't know who was she. She told me, she was like, you can have an abortion. I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, but I don't want one. And she was like, you're just 14. She's like, what are you gonna do with a baby? And I didn't answer her because I didn't expect that question from a nurse. And she was like, and she just walked out, and I was like.
My name's Marissa Dubois, and I'm 15 years old. This is Marcus Dubois, and he is almost 10 months. Actually, I just started getting bigger, and then so my mom just went in and took me into the Medicaid office, and then we signed up for Medicaid and everything, and then after that, I was 6 months when I found out.
We just lived together like for 2 months, and then I got pregnant. Now I think back and I'm like, well, I wouldn't like my daughters having a boyfriend at 14. So like then you do look at things differently, and yeah, but like when you're at that time, you're like, oh, I just love him, and
He's my heart.
Yeah.
Mi corazón.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know some girls that their parents like wouldn't talk to them, but my parents did, and they told me like if I wanted to go get my stuff, and like I knew they were like not mad, but like they didn't expect that from me. Well, maybe they were kind of mad too, but like they weren't like mad, like tell me stuff and like scream at me or whatever. Like they told me that like they didn't expect that from me, but I already had done it, so. Now that I've seen how kind of hard it is, I would have waited until I had finished school. And then, cause like right now, go to school, then go to work, I don't really have time with him. And he doesn't really see me like until the weekends. So I would have gotten pregnant when I had finished school, so that now I can have more time with him. So I think that's what I have changed, if I could.
No, I don't regret anything. Cause actually, I wasn't planning on having a baby, but his dad was.
Is Marcus' dad really involved?
No, not really. It's just the first word he came across was dad. Dad. He just now found out like about 3 or 4 months ago that he had a baby. I wanted to tell him, but I never knew who he was, so. And they just sometimes they'll come up to me and ask me, "Is that your baby?" I go, "Yeah." They'll go, "How old are you?" Because then when I was 14, they were like, "You're too young to have a kid." I was like, "I know, but things happen. It's just the way God planned it."
Like whenever they see me with his dad, well, they know. Like they see us as a couple. And more like when we go to a store and Daniel's like just running around, and like if we hold him, he starts crying. They'll stare even more. And they're like, "What's your problem?" Like maybe like if we're not taking care of him good, but we don't really feel like they don't really ask us. I know they want to ask us something, but they don't.
And I had never had nobody teach me the difference between genders and stuff, so I didn't really know much about what difference between a guy and a girl was when I was younger, because nobody that was there to ever explain it to me. My mom was gone. She left me with my grandma, and my dad, I didn't have him, so. She had a good reason to do it, though, was because she was back then she was doing a lot of drugs and drinking a lot, and so she was better off leaving us with somebody in the family instead of having us get taken away from the States. So I don't care what other people think about me or what they say about me. Just as long as I'm happy. Little chair. Big chair. Little bear. Dad Pig?
Dad, dad,
Dad.
dad, dad, dad.
I just want him to learn the responsibilities of not drinking and doing drugs and stuff like that. So I just want to teach him how to be better person than what my mom was. I don't want him to live without a father either. Cause my dad, I've never seen my dad before. I just barely started talking to him about 3 or 4 months ago. So I'm just starting to get to know my dad. I want him to get to know his dad before he has a chance to grow up without him.
Yeah, I think it's really important to just depend on yourself because you never know when somebody's gonna be gone. And like a lot of people that depend on somebody else, when that happens, they're just like, their whole life is just like nothing. Like you don't know what to do. And if you're just depend on yourself, you know what to expect, you know what you have to do. And because I don't really depend on no one but myself, so that's why I really try like everything my hardest because I know it's of me and it's gonna be for me in 10 years. And how old am I gonna be?
27.
27. Like no. Well, like in 10 years, I see Daniel going to school and being really smart and intelligent, and I see myself being like a registered nurse or a teacher or LVN. And I think that like I'm gonna start buying my own house and like I don't know, like having really good things for me and Daniel.